Hello everyone, welcome back to that one FNaF guy. So with FNaF 2 starting filming last month and it releasing next year, I think I have to give my predictions about what I predict the plot will be about. Now keep in mind, I am just doing this based off a poster and what we know in the first film, so this could be really long. Please don't diss me in the comments when we get the trailer or the full movie release. This is just some predictions before we have anything, and I am decently proud of what I've come up with. So without any more delaying, let's dive in. I'll start with my few predictions about the marketing. I think the withered animatronics won't be shown fully. I think it will be like the big twist for the normal viewers only watching after seeing the first film. But on the opposing side of that spectrum, I think Springtrap will be shown in the trailers, because I do predict he will also be in the film. Moving on to the actual movie, I think the opening for the film will be like Springtrap escaping or someone retrieving him. Then it will cut to another 8-bit style opening, this time with the Save Them mini games, or maybe a recap of the first film. Then we cut to a court case with Aunt Jane and Mike, which leads to Aunt Jane taking custody of Abby. And I think MatPat or Markiplier will probably show up here if this is true. The one issue with this prediction is that the novel stating that Jane moved on, well, saucer. But other than that, hear me out. We know that Jane is very neglecting, and Abby could very well sneak out with another ghost kid and sneak into the new Freddy's. Speaking of the new Freddy's, I suspect it will be built by Henry Emily, or at least the movie equivalent to him. A motive for Mike going back to Freddy's is, well, Garrett possessing the puppet. I also think there's a chance that Mike will return to the FNaF 1 pizzeria, see the animatronics are missing, and checks online about Freddy Fazbear's, and maybe check sites that would sell robots, and when looking he finds an article and he finds out that they're making a second pizzeria. Those are some possible ideas, and from here it gets a bit harder to predict, but I think Mike, after seeing the new Freddy's and knowing about Abby being connected to Freddy's, and the fact that Mike can't monitor her and who she goes out with, will sign up for a petition for a night shift, using a different name, like what we see in FNaF 2. I think the first few nights will be fine, like Mike getting used to it, and Vanessa probably popping in from time to time. Maybe she'll be like a phone guy character, I'm not too sure. I do think Abby will show up on maybe night 2, night 3, and be the Toy Chica, like what we saw in one of the scripts. And then Mike somehow punches Toy Chica and her beak falls off, giving us the iconic Toy Chica without a beak. Now, I think the puppet will be like the one to fix the beak, and Mike will probably dream about the puppet throughout the nights, but I'm not too sure. Now, I think this will lead to Mike taking Abby to the office, and I think this is where like the major stakes for the movie comes in, which is, of course, the mask, which I suspect will be a Withered Bonnie mask this time, although they could keep it game accurate and make it a Freddy mask, but I'm not too sure. And the reason I suspect it will be like a massive stake is the fact that only one person can wear the mask. Obviously, the three main like characters, which is Mike and Vanessa and Abby, and Mike and Vanessa would obviously give it to Abby, which would cause them to have to go away, I assume crawling throughout the vents, and probably running from the mangle, giving us like a mangle vent scene. But when they're running away, like, Abby is left unprotected in the office. Therefore, Withered Foxy and the puppet can still attack her, and Mike and Vanessa can't stop them. So I think they'll outrun the animatronics, and then you turn to the office to see either the puppet or Withered Foxy interacting with Abby, and maybe luring her somewhere away. And maybe Abby can understand the puppet due to the supernatural ability she has to communicate with spirits. Now, I do think this will be on a later night, and I'm not sure what will happen in between because, well, we only have one poster. But honestly, I think Abby will get stuffed or killed into like a suit or something like that, which will probably be done by Springtrap, because you know how much he loves his symmetry, killing his brother and sister. It will just work, which is then a motivation for Mike to beat Afton in the third film. Oh, and speaking of the third film, my prediction is at the end of the movie, it will show Mike in Fazbear Frights doing his first night, because in the game, Mike canonically worked at least one night before the first night in the game.
Glad you came back for another night.
Now, I'm gonna give some random plot points or ideas that I have right now in no particular order. I think Balloon Boy will be a full animatronic, and Mike will probably go something like, "It's a bloody full animatronic now." And I think JJ will be like a mini animatronic, like how Balloon Boy was in the first film. I do think we'll get an Easter egg from like Shadow Bonnie and Shadow Freddy. I mean, we already have a Shadow Freddy built, and they had to censor it in the vlogs, even though it was the uncensored vlogs. So I do think he'll have like a bigger part in the second film. I do think the YouTubers who like were on the Employee of the Month board, I think they'll be shown like getting killed to like buff the kill count. You know, they said they were making it scarier and more gorier, so I think the post-credit scene will be another gag like the first film. And finally, I do predict the end credits theme song is gonna be It's Been So Long or Another 5 Nights by GT Music. So yeah, those are all my predictions I have currently, while we wait for filming and all the trailers, and all of this to be proved wrong. But yeah, I'm super excited to see what they have cooking for 2025. 5. There's just so much stuff happening next year. I'm so excited. But yeah, I don't really have a lot else to say. So this has been that one FNaF guy, signing off.